Precious Lord.
All right, Arizona Trail Passage number 7. We're excited to talk about grandpas today. Honored. You know, we could make a video about each of our grandpas in their own unique way and how they've impacted us and done hard things, overcome things. But the story of Grandpa Nelson, that would be Mandy's dad's dad, so Bay's dad. Pretty cool guy. A lot of good stories about him. We can't shove all that in. But one thing he's impacted me on is being a good listener. You know, Mandy, her siblings, other cousins have shared with me how when you were with Grandpa Nelson, you felt like you were the only person in the world. And that is a good listener. And that's how I want to be. I know at times I get inconvenienced by different distracted things that seem like a distraction at the time, but I want more margin in my life so I could be more like Grandpa Nelson and be available to be a good listener. But I want you to hold on till the end of this one because Mandy has just an amazing story about his life that I'm excited to hear, and I think you're going to love it.
Help me to try to stand. I get so tired. I'm so weak. I'm so worn.
All right, today we're out here on the trail and we're walking in honor of my Papa Nelson. Like Tim said, he made everyone feel special, and that's what I remember most, is sitting on his lap feeling so special. But what we're doing out here is hard things on the trail, and we want to talk about the people who've taught us about that. And for me, Papa Nelson, when I think of the hard things he did, there's a couple. One, he was a carpenter. And everyone talks about his hands. They were these big, strong hands, and he could build anything from what I remember as a child, right? And he is an artist, and there's a connection to me with that with Tim, and I love that connection, that they are both like that. They build with their hands. Another thing that I remember is that my grandpa was there when they released people from the concentration camps. And I can't even imagine World War II. I can't even imagine coming up on a camp like that and what he saw and experienced. But what I do know is that he came back, and even though that must have been hard, he came back and he helped us feel still special. He was gentle, he was kind, he was loving. I know that he was a strong man and he had a lot to say, but he still was so kind and gentle, and that is what I'm thankful for.
Lest I fall, take my hand. Precious Lord.
One thing that I've really been thinking about while I'm on the trail is just how Tim is often leading us on the trail. I'm watching his footsteps constantly in front of me, and I'm really thankful for that leadership. But this reminds me of my Papa Nelson, because my dad used to tell a story of how when he was a little kid, whether they were in mud or snow, he would hop from my Papa Nelson's footsteps from one to the other, because my dad had little feet at the time, and that is not the case now. He's a size 15 and my Papa would be hopping into his. But it just reminds me of the great men who have been in my life, who are leaders, and how I am honored to follow in their footsteps, and thankful for their leadership in my life. And so just thank you to all three of you, to Tim, to my dad, to Papa Nelson, for being great men who I can follow.
Precious Lord, oh, lead me on. Precious Lord, take my hand. Help me stand. I'm so tired. I'm so weak. I'm so worn. Take hand. Precious Lord, oh, lead me on. Take my hand. Precious
All right, we're coming on the end of our hike, only about a mile and a half to go. So we want to wrap up this video about Papa Nelson with probably the thing I remember most. And although Papa Nelson is most remembered for the way he lived his life, today I want to talk about the way he died and how that impacted me. I was 11 years old when he got cancer, and it happened quickly. But what I remember is the day he died. His whole family surrounded him in his bed, and he was in a coma, so we're not even sure how much he remembers or heard. But I, as an 11-year-old little girl, watching my family surround him, pray for him, and then we sang the song you're hearing throughout this video, Precious Lord, Take My Hand. It was a powerful thing, and to watch my papa live life was a joy, but to watch the way he died taught me that there's more in this life, and that there's more to look forward to in heaven. And I remember more about that than anything, and I just want to thank him for showing me not only how to live well, but how to die well too. I love you, Papa. This one's for you.
Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, help me